Welcome to the ASO Analytics tutorial series. Today we will be reviewing the Provider Productivity Survey. One unique feature of ASO Analytics is that you can edit your survey at any time. From the Surveys page, simply select the Edit Survey option, which will allow you to update your responses. You can see here that I have already completed the Provider Productivity Survey. If I hadn't, this box that says Edit Survey will say Start Survey, and the bottom left corner will indicate that the survey is available. We'll go to Edit, and it'll look the same as Starting New, except that the data is already there. The Provider Productivity Survey is the first in a series of surveys that captures data points and begins the benchmarking process. Unlike the Demographic Survey, where you could answer most of the questions by memory, this survey will require that you run reports from your practice management system. The data entry is still rather quick and easy, but there is more prep time for this survey. Therefore, we highly recommend that you download these survey instructions and definitions to collect the necessary information before beginning the survey. Remember, we want to make sure we are collecting data as accurately as possible. By following the definitions and instructions, we'll make sure we are comparing apples to apples. One of the reasons the surveys are so easy to complete is that we build upon previous surveys and information so that you don't have to duplicate your entry. For this particular survey, we pulled the list of providers that you entered in the demographic survey. This gives us the full-time equivalent count that will be used to calculate benchmarking results. Of course, if you see something that looks inaccurate, you can simply click on the blue action button to update your information. This will take you back to the demographic survey. And if everything looks accurate, simply continue on. Each provider will have 3 fields of entry. One is for all new patient visits, one is for established patient visits, and one is for no charge visits. The golden fields will automatically calculate or populate. You don't have to worry about those. Just the white empty fields here. In this case, I've already completed my entry to show you what it might look like for the various providers in my practice. As with all surveys, you can hover over an information icon as a reminder of the definition. One question that commonly comes up when tracking office visits is whether to pull scheduling reports or CPT codes. Traditionally, we have always used the CPT reports as they tend to more accurately reflect what was actually done. As such, we do not count patients who might be scheduled for in-office procedures such as retinal injections or a laser visit where an office visit might not be charged. This may be different than how you track it in your practice, but remember, every other practice entering data into the database is following these definitions. Because accuracy of data is so important, we have put some simple data verification tools into place. We're mostly concerned that people may enter an extra digit or maybe not enough digits. If this happens, the total visits box turns dark gray and you'll see an information icon that appears. This one says, "This number appears lower than expected. Please verify your data entry and continue." One of the common reasons this number is low is that the provider did not work the entire year. If you get a data verification request, remember, it's just a verification step. Give the data a quick look, and if it's accurate, keep going. This brings you to the next information table for data entry, professional collections by provider. Please note the words professional collections. You can actually see the definition is called out here to the side rather than in an information icon. It is that important. We know that many practices have ancillary services such as optical. In fact, from your demographic survey, we see that about 70% of practices have optical. However, in order to make sure we are comparing apples to apples when it comes to this survey, we'd like you to include only the professional collections for each provider. That is, collections earned through the doctor's office visits, diagnostic testing, and professional surgical services. Please note that professional collections specifically exclude collections for injectable drugs like Lucentis or Eylea. And even though many of you may have ownership in an ambulatory surgery center, we do not include facility fees collections for this survey. Just like the office visits table, We have some basic data verification checks programmed into this table. Here you see that my entry appears to be on the high end, even just a little, but once again I gave it another check. It is accurate, so I simply continue on. And again, verify one last time. And remember, if you finish up and start thinking about it and realize that you actually did make an error or that you counted something incorrectly, you can always go back and fix it. In fact, we hope you go back and fix it, as your answers will impact the benchmarking results. After you've completed your entry, you'll see this summary table by specialty that gives you one last glance at your data. If everything looks accurate, you can go ahead and click Submit, but if anything looks inaccurate, simply scroll back up and make changes to the table where you think you may have made a mistake. Then, after you're done with that, simply scroll back down to the summary table. Once everything looks right, select the blue button to submit to push your practice's information into the database. For information on reviewing the reports, select the Provider Productivity Reports tutorial. Congratulations, you have just completed the Provider Productivity Survey. ASO Analytics, easy to use, easy to understand.